Hi, everyone. Welcome to another session of Smile with Sandbox. Today, we're here with Nuri. Nuri, please tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, your company, and what did your company look like heading into the tail end of 2019?
Sure. So I'm Nuri Fisher. I'm the president of Piscine Energetics. And for those of you who are not familiar with Piscine Energetics and what we do, we are really a green tech environmental restoration company. We remove invasive Mysis shrimp out of Okanagan Lake, and we turn them into innovative feeds for commercial aquaculture, zoos and public aquariums, as well as for those with home aquariums, so the tropical fish hobby market. So that's what we do. And Piscine Energetics, we've been around for over a decade, and it was business as usual. 2019 and wrapping up into the end of December was normally our business was standard quo, so to speak.
Great. And heading into 2020, and all of a sudden we face this crisis hitting most businesses kind of in that March area. Tell us a little bit about just how the crisis impacted your business, your customers, and what did that look like for you working through that kind of February to May period?
Sure. Yeah, so within our markets that we service, we're quite a unique operator. So first and foremost, we're one of the few that actually are vertically, and horizontally integrated within our markets. So we own our own collection vessels. So we're harvesting the shrimp out on Okanagan Lake, right through to controlling our channels. You know what I say, we're skipper to salesman, so to speak. So right from the people harvesting our shrimp to the people selling our shrimp, whether it to be, to a public aquarium or to a retail shop, they're all Piscine Energetics employees. So, fish need to eat year round. So our business, because it's a consumable, it's fairly steady. And, month to month, we have a core group of clients that are continuously reordering our fish food. And coming up into 2020, we had some new initiatives, some new products that we had launched, and, we were gearing up for, in our industry, a lot of trade show season, traveling nonstop. And that came to an abrupt end, virtually immediately, come the middle of March. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the main markets which we service is zoological institutions and public aquariums. And so that segment of the market, they were dealing with a situation that they truly had never dealt with before. So zoos and public aquariums, they are one of those facilities or institutions or attractions that don't close. They're open 365 days a year. Going to the zoo or the aquarium on Christmas Day, if you're living in a warmer climate, that's a regular family outing. On New Year's Day, that's a regular family outing. People are spending times, aquariums and zoos cater to all generations, all socio-economic levels and demographics. And we had a large segment of our clientele having to close their doors overnight for the very first time. These are zoos and aquariums that had never closed their doors in decades. And, their animals and their fish, they still need to be cared for. So it was really a sharp learning curve for us. And, we really got a new appreciation for our clients, and our clients also, I could say, had a new appreciation for us in our company. The majority of fish feed that's out there is treated as a commodity, and due to our business operations, we're always providing unique value to our customers. And because of the COVID crisis, it really opened up some opportunities that I would say would never have even been on our radar had a crisis like this not occurred. And first and foremost, it's everyone's budgets were being cut. There was disruptions in supply chains, a lot of products coming in from overseas to North America, so to speak. So a lot of people started to turn to us looking for our product, a lot of new clientele. And, people are always driven to, cheapest is best, where our product certainly is not the cheapest on a per pound basis, but on a calorie, we're kind of a disruptor in that market where we don't sell on pounds, we sell on nutrition, which is something that this industry or all our industries never really look at. So by just all of a sudden, when people's wallets and people's budgets are a little bit tighter, they're a little bit more open to having those conversations. So that was kind of where we were able to now, get people's attention and their ears, so to speak, selling unique value as opposed to selling product that's full of filler, excess wastage on shipping, that sort of thing. So that was kind of the first really unique thing of the new year, or of the COVID year, I should say.
The COVID year. So even though a lot of the outlets that would buy your product were having to close down, they still had to continue to buy your product. They still need to continue to feed.
Right.
So your business and new doors opening up for you as a positive. How did it impact your team of people, your ability to deliver the product? What did that look like?
Yeah. So, the impact that COVID has had on our team, it has really defined our company's why. And again, I come back to this crisis that was sitting in front of us. These opportunities, our positioning in the market, the value that we bring to our clients, really the partnership we have. And the reason I say partnership is our business in itself is an environmental restoration project. We're removing invasive shrimp. And our zoos and our public aquarium clients, their mandate is environmental education, restoration, wildlife rehabilitation. And many of them knew, sort of the alignment of our vision, our philosophy with their vision and their philosophies. But what really kind of was the eye-opener for us, or the aha moment, was, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the trade shows and conferences were canceled. And, for the zoos and the public aquariums, that scientific community, there's a conference called the Regional Aquatics Workshop, which brings together several hundred zoos and aquariums every year to share best practices. So this is, aquarium curators, biologists getting together and figuring out how do we transfer our tiger shark pup, which was 4 feet, now it's 9 feet. How do we transfer it for a different tank without losing our arm? Or for other public aquariums that are involved with what they call the species survival program. So they're working on conservation or breeding initiatives for endangered species. They'll get together and they'll have, water cooler chats or after hours beer chats and saying, hey, I've got a female X species, you got to mate for her, And really, that's just how it goes on at these conferences, and they got canceled. So what we had done is we started a series of virtual conferences. We called it Quarantining with Curators. And what we had done, this started at the last week of March, and it was really just informal how it started. There's a private Facebook group for people who work at public zoos and aquariums. And we just reached out to that group and we thought, all these facilities were dealing with this unprecedented situation of, okay, we need to close our doors to our aquariums and our zoos. How are we operating? They have animals that need to be cared for. What happens if our staff get sick? What happens if we contaminate the other staff team? Then what? And so a lot of the aquariums, they all of a sudden split up and they had, A shift and B shift and even a C shift. And they almost kept, say, the A and B's working, 3 or 4 on off, and say the C shift stayed at home for months. So, they had, aquarium, assistant curator and a couple senior biologists and some life support people virtually staying at home and doing what they could remotely, but it also opened up a tremendous opportunity for them to spend some time learning from each other. So that's where we kind of thought this thing, quarantining with curators. The first one we had was hosted by a curator at Moat Marine Lab in Sarasota, Florida. And we thought we're going to see how many people are going to show up. Maybe it'll be 5 or 10 people. The first meeting we had over 160 institutions come online on a Zoom call. And since then, we've done over 40 of these episodes in the last 2 months. We have expanded it to the European Union of Aquarium Curators to take part, as well as the British and Irish Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So in 2 short months, we've now put on over 55 hours of content, have had participation from over 60 different countries, and have had over 2,000, or I think it's up to 2,500 now, unique individuals who work at public aquariums or zoos across the world either partake in a live session or at least view one of our recorded sessions. So, when we talk about the impact that had on our staff, it was unbelievable. Kind of like our staff meetings and our headlines, it's, the Association of European Aquarium Curators was wondering if it was okay if we can share our videos with 200 people over there. Sure. So that was really interesting, kind of getting that unsolicited feedback from our clients, in essence, saying, thank you so much for putting this on together. And when we take that back to our staff and our team and people who had, just joined our company, because we scale up our staff in the spring and summer when we do our harvest, all of a sudden for them to see, just what we were doing for the community. And that was just, really, really, for the first time, we just looked at it, it was just fantastic, really.